How do you create automatic magnetic marketing within your college planning business? Hi, my name is Philip Anthony, and in this free video training, I'm going to break down and dissect the specific tactics behind how you can add more high schools into your college planning speaking schedule so that you can put your profits on autopilot. Now, before I do, what I want to tell you is that I've spoken at over 100 high schools across the United States every single year. I've spoken at over a total of 1,000 high schools in just the last 4 or 5 years. And I've also been the keynote speakers at dozens of school districts, colleges, middle schools, community centers, and my entire message has always been about how to help parents and students make this process happen. In other words, how to get into a college and how to get financial aid. And as a marketing coach, I also want to teach you how to do the same, because I truly believe that speaking at public and private high schools is one of the most profitable activities that you can do in order to grow your college planning business fast. So before I teach you how, let me first teach you the why. Why is it important to speak at public and private high schools? Well, I can tell you right now, if your primary method of marketing is either doing your own private seminars or relying on word of mouth, what I can tell you is that you're always going to be at the risk of not having enough clients at the end of the month. One of the best benefits of speaking at high schools is that, number one, it can put you in front of literally thousands of parents at once. I just spoke at a private high school in San Francisco, California that had over 1,000 parents, and literally I was able to pick up over 550 consultations in one event. That's enough consultations to literally last the average college planner the entire year. So learning how to get into high schools not only puts you in front of a mass volume of prospects so that you have more clients than you can possibly handle, but also speaking at high schools can put you in front of highly qualified prospects by being very specific at what schools you choose to speak at. In other words, speaking at a private school or a blue ribbon public school or getting into the right neighborhood can put you in front of literally clients that have massive amounts of assets if you do financial planning work, or clients that have high GPAs for Ivy League admissions planning if that's your focus within your business. So again, speaking at these kinds of high schools is a very, very, very lucrative opportunity. And then the last benefit of speaking at a high school is that you get third-party endorsement, either explicitly or implicitly. One of the things I like to do when I speak at a high school is I'll actually ask the counselor to read a script that I've specifically designed to overcome objections, pre-qualify, and pre-motivate the audience before I even get on stage. And you can do the exact same thing. So, let's talk about what are some of the reasons why high schools would be interested in inviting you as a college planner to come speak at their school. And this is very important because if you don't understand the underlying reasons why they want you to speak, then it's going to be hard to craft the marketing messages that are necessary to get them attracted and having you come and speak. So the first reason why is that most high schools, whether public or private, particularly private schools, they need outside speakers. They need it because a lot of counselors are actually not experts on the topics that we're experts on. They may not know exactly how the college admissions process works. They may not know exactly how the financial aid process works. And they definitely don't know it to the level of detail that you and I understand how this process works. Now, don't let them fool you. When you have maybe talked to counselors in your past as a professional, they may have let on the idea that they do their own workshops, or perhaps they're already familiar with the process. But if you took yourself and you stacked yourself up against a lot of these counselors, I guarantee you that you would come out on top. So, we know that they need outside speakers, and then one of the other reasons is because they're always overwhelmed with tons of students, tons of parents, and they don't have either the energy or the financial resources to adequately give these parents the information they need. And that's where you come in, that's where I come in, and this is one of the best ways that we can help persuade an admissions office to say yes to allowing, or to persuade a counseling office to say yes to allowing you to come and speak. So again, these are one of the most important things that you want to think about, is what are the driving reasons behind why counselors want you as a college planner to come and speak. So with that being said, let's get into some of the specific tactics of things that you can do right now in order to get a counselor to say yes. So The first thing that you can do is right now in your area is you can build a list of every single public and private high school that you would be interested in speaking at. So build that list. Get the name of the high school, get the counselor, specifically the head counselor or the college counselor, get their address, get their email address, get their phone number, and build that list. I have actually, within my own business, developed a list of every single public and private high school that meets my pre-qualification criteria nationwide, and that list is over 4,700 high schools in the country. Now, you don't have to do it on this scale, and even if that list is 10, 15, get that list together. Now, step 2 in this tactic is that what you can do is either yourself or have one of your associates, staff members, or even a student or one of your clients call the high school, and you want to ask these 3 specific questions. Question number 1 you want to ask is, what % of your students get accepted into a 4-year college? Find out that number. And question number 2 you want to ask is, of that % of students that got accepted into 4-year colleges, what % of them actually got free money for college, grants and scholarships, and how much do they actually get? And then question 3 you want to ask is, what is your biggest challenge as a high school? Now obviously if you call as a college and you say, hey, I'm a private college admissions or financial aid consultant, they're probably not going to want to divulge that information just because of that lack of trust. But if you go in as a third party and you're just maybe interested in learning about the school, then you can get this information. I'll tell you why you use this. Is once you get this information, now you can send them some sort of advertisement, direct mail or flyer. What I've done in the past is I've taken those 3 questions and I've used those 3 questions to structure my headline. So let's say the counselor says 50% of our kids get accepted into a 4-year college. The average student got $15,000 in grants, and our biggest challenge is motivating our students to really take this process more seriously. Well, now with that information, I can send that counselor a headline, and perhaps that headline might say, does your high school only have a 50% conversion to a top 4-year university? And in addition to that, are you looking on how to get more grants and scholarships for your kids? Did you know the average student only got $15,000 in grants? If so, here are 7 easy motivational tips that you can instantly give your students to help motivate them to get more engaged in the process, and send that to the same high school that gave you that information. And what I can assure you is that's going to be a 10 times more effective marketing strategy than talking about, hey, 10 insider tips on the process, or, you know, learn how to pay for college without going broke, or those other headlines that I've seen, unfortunately, a lot of my college planners use that just don't work. So the lesson within that tactic is relevance, and specifically understanding that school's pain is the primary motive behind how you capture their attention. So use that tactic right now and get counselors to be interested in learning more about what you do and how you can provide free workshops. Now, tactic number 2, as I also want to talk about, is how you can leverage your existing workshops to get into high schools. So now here's what you do. Let's say you're doing a workshop for your parents and for your students, and let's say you have 30 parents who are already there. What you do is in your workshop, there's probably a point where you give some of your best information, the kind of information that's absolutely fantastic that they love to hear over and over again every single month. And let's say, for instance, that information is how to shelter, let's say, your primary home equity from the forms, right? And so you get into a strategy behind how to do that. Now, right after you give that information, here's what you do. And I want you to copy this word by word, because I've done this over the last couple of years, and it's made me literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. Is you ask your audience to raise their hand. You say, by show of hands here, how many of you just thought that piece of information was very valuable for you? And they're all going to raise their hand. And they say, great, all right, keep them up. I did you guys a favor, now I need you to do me a favor. And they're going to say, sure. And the audience will say, what do you want us to do? And then go to click on your slides, and then put up a slide that has the name and the email address of all the counselors that are in that local area. And then you say, all right, guys, here's what I would like you to do is find your counselor at your high school, and I want you to put the email address into your iPhones, into your Blackberries, and then in addition to that, in that slide, put the actual email that you want them to send. So 1 or 2 sentences that may say, hi, Mrs. Smith, this was such a great workshop. I'm here listening to Philip Anthony, and he has given us such great information. Could you please invite him to come speak at our high school? and have all 30 parents do that. Now imagine if I'm the high school counselor and all of a sudden at 6 o'clock in the evening, the day before, I just got 6 emails from parents all endorsing me, or all endorsing the college planner to come and speak. Now what you do is you take those endorsements, and then the very next day you simply call the counselor and say, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but hey, I just did a workshop last night, and all these parents came up to me and said this workshop was so motivational, so inspirational, so knowledgeable that they really recommended that I come out and I speak. Is that something that you may be interested in? And that counselor is going to look at their emails, take that social proof, reinforce it with what you just said, and at least give you the opportunity for a meeting. And that's another tactic that you can do right now. Alright, and then the third tactic is, this is the one that I did when I first started in the college planning business, is you simply call the high school counselors. And there's a subtlety and there's a subtle art behind how you do this. So let's talk about that. What you can do is you can call high schools right now. And let me tell you how to do it. Step 1 is you pick up the phone and you get the name of the high school college counselor, the actual college, the college counselor or the head guidance officer. Now when you call this professional, and the phone rings, the first challenge is going to be obviously to get them to pick up the phone. If they don't pick up the phone, leave them one voicemail and you can say, hi, my name is Philip Anthony and it was recommended that I reach out to you because I do free workshops on the topic of college admissions or financial aid consulting, and my whole mission, and then give them a reason for why you're calling so it's not suspect. You can say, the reason why I'm calling is because my mission is to come out and help communities make college affordable, etc., etc., and then leave that voicemail, give them your phone number to call you back. Now, at the end of that first voicemail, don't ever leave another voicemail. Just wait and keep calling until you get in touch with that person. And if you're persistent enough, you eventually will. My statistics show me that it takes on average 1.5 weeks before you get in touch with a counselor live, okay? Now, when you get in touch with that counselor and they say, hi, this is Mrs. Smith, I want you to copy exactly what I say word from word. This is what you do. Hi, my name is Philip Anthony, and are you the college counselor at Heritage High School? Yes, I am. How can I help you? Great. Well, the reason why I wanted to call you is because I'm actually a well-known speaker who focuses on how to get kids into the dream school, how to cut the cost for college, and then how to fund for college without going broke. And I don't know if you would be interested in doing this, but I speak at high schools all around my local area, and I wanted to see if you thought that this free workshop may benefit you. I don't sell anything at the workshop. It's completely informational and is designed to create content for the audience to help them through the process. So again, is this something that you think you might be interested in? And then there's only 2 things that they're going to do. Number 1, they're going to say, yeah, absolutely. Let's set up a meeting. Let's talk more about it. Boom. Now you have the result. Now, what is sometimes more common is they might say, well, what's in it for you? Or, you know, I'm not interested. Or usually they'll say, what's in it for you? And then in that situation, you can simply say, what's in it for me is this is how I've built a public reputation for myself. Yes, I am a private consultant. And then you say, but as a private consultant, this is how I made a living for myself so I can put food on the table. But the real reason why I like to do it is to help 90% of the parents there who may or may not need my help. But I'm only looking for a smaller percentage of families that will actually be really interested in what I have to do, who are already proactively looking for, or who may already have college consultants. And they're going to say, okay, well, that's great. Well, when's the meeting? Or when would you be available for a meeting? And then you set up the meeting. So there's a lot of subtleties in that third strategy, and we probably need a whole other video training on how to do that third one. But those are 3 easy tactics that you can do right now as a college planner in order to create more public and private high schools to be put onto your speaking schedule so that you can multiply your income and turn yourself into a 7-figure status college planner. So what I recommend that you do next, if you haven't already, is make sure you fill out the information on your right-hand side, and I'm going to send you a couple free gifts. The first one is a 35-page book that I wrote specifically for college planners who make between $50,000 to about $200,000 a year, and it's going to teach you on how to turn your business into a multiple high 6-figure, 7-figure income college planning business through mastering over 58 college planning marketing tactics that I've used in my own business that's transformed my revenue. So you have to absolutely read that book cover to cover, because I've had college planners read it and tell me it's absolutely transformed their business. And then the second thing I'm going to give you is a free audio training where I'm going to break down the psychology behind how you do a college planning consultation in order to overcome objections, pre-qualify, pre-motivate your audience, and get them to give you the highest fees that you possibly can within your local area. And then the third gift I'm going to give you is a mystery direct mail piece. And this is something that I paid over $10,000 for, using one of the copywriters that worked on Donald Trump's marketing for the World Tower to sell those condos. And it is a proprietary direct mail piece that you can literally take my name off of it, put your name off of it, and use it in your local market. And I had absolutely no concern about you doing it, because I want you to succeed as a college planner, because I believe in what we do. And then, of course, the last thing I'm going to give you is over a 40-minute free training series on over 100 marketing tactics that you can use in your college planning business. So this is a lot of free stuff. So in order to get it, simply fill out the information on the next page, fill it out completely, and then sit back, relax, and let me send you those free gifts. Watch the videos, and let's turn your business into a 7-figure college planning office.